Good afternoon and welcome. And today is the day we talk about Other Side Picnic episode 11. Yes, today is episode 11 and next week is the last episode. I'm not saying season finale because we're not sure we're getting season 2. But next week is the last episode of Other Side Picnic. Now, before I do my review of episode 11, I got to say that it was disturbing yesterday that I've heard that there was a quake that happened in Japan. My I felt sad. I hope everybody's okay there. I really am. I really am. And that's why Attack on Titan was delayed. But again, I hope everybody's okay in Japan. So I hope so as well. But still, Armin got his ass whooped. So that's kind of like not a bright light thing, but at least Armin got his ass whooped. And I knew I don't like Armin. I never liked it, Armin. But that's a different topic in another way. That's a different reason. That's a different topic anyway. I never liked Armin anyway, but he got his ass whooped. That's the only thing that was lighting up the mood. But let's talk about episode 11 of Other Side Picnic. As we get into the last episode, the chemistry and the whole Setsuna looking for Setsuna has kind of been like on an up and down roller coaster plot twist. I mean, a roller coaster plot. Like, there are some moments where we talk about Setsuna, and there are moments that we're not going to look for Setsuna. And I'm like, wait, so the whole plot is looking for Setsuna, or we're just going to the other side? There's so many questions not answered, but episode 11 did give us quite a blessing in the Yuri department. While we see Other Side Picnic with Sari and Toriko's relationship and the Yuriness that it is, the Yuriness tends to blend a little bit of twist. It's like added a pinch of salt. But other than that, it was an interesting show. So, without further ado, let's just go right to it. Let's talk about episode 11 review of Other Side Picnic. Let's talk about it. So, as we know, last week they go into the station again. So that means they're gonna meet the Marine. They're gonna meet the Army people again, and it's great to see them back again. Just be honest, it is really great to see them again. We haven't seen them since the train station incident, the whole meat train. So I really am touched that they actually brought them back. It's great. So they went to the other side, but the way how they got to the other side was, as soon as they put on the hat, they started walking in the streets, and as soon as they walk into the streets, they're right into the other side. So I'm like, so our theory. So I guess my theory is, once you contain a certain object from the other side, you kind of have that gift that you could just go to the other side. So it's like, anyone have that gift? Does anyone have that gift where you just like walk to the other side and just get it? I mean, is that how that works? I'm just saying. Okay, now here's what. Now they go into the other side and they see a bunch of these flags with poles in them, and they grab the white flag, and like we all know, white flags means to surrender, all that stuff. So, and they were shooting from a distance, shooting from one side to the other, and you gotta give Toriko credit. You gotta give her credit for using it. Her mother was a Canadian Armed Forces, so she knows how to handle guns. She knows how to communicate people through Morse code, and I like that. I really do like that. I really like that. So again, with the SOS thing and and they met the army people once again. And then, we found out that one of the members died. It was one of the soldiers that found a meat train with them at the time. So we're going to miss Craig. So sorry, Craig, you will be missed. So when they went back to the base camp, we had a Yuri moment. It was a very good Yuri touching moment where Toriko was talking about her mom used to be in the Canadian Armed Forces and showing her how to use the gun. But the way how they were showing the Uranus a little bit towards it, where her face was touching Sorio's face to know how to use the gun properly, that was like, oh, okay. She was blushing. I'm like, oh, it's so sweet. This is our last. Next week's gonna be our last episode. Next week is gonna be our last episode. So why don't we just show her with the gun moment, like a little Uranus? And they did. So it's kind of building up. So as they were leading the whole troops, yes, they're troops, and with Sorio's ability with the eye, it was easy for her to find out where all the traps are at, and that's a good thing about her eye. They never gave her credit because she was a monster. They called her a monster, a freak, and they start shooting. Talk about, that's kind of disrespectful to call someone a monster based on what they have. That's kind of disrespectful. But with her eye ability, she's able to lead the troops in many ways. She led the troops and then found some traps. And then they see this one guy who one of the people from the army is like, help, help, help. But Sorry used her ability and she found out that it was one of those regenerators from Resident Evil 4. But let me go back. I love the English dialogue in this show, in the LSI Picnic. I don't know why. Anytime I see anime characters that talks English, perfectly English, it warms my heart because it's like, it hits me so many times just seeing that. Like the guy from Dr. Stone, he was talking in English. I am American. My name is I love shit like that. Any character who talks in that English is really good. And with the troops, he's like, these girls will follow us. Leave no man behind. Yo, like I said, I love the English dialogue. And I'm sure some of y'all have loved it too. But okay, now back to the scary scene. You got these dead ass zombies coming after them and they regenerate. Like one got a clean headshot right in the head, and then boom, he regenerated. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know why. It's something about regenerators. I said, you know what? First thing that comes to my head was the Resident Evil 4. And Resident Evil 4 is the greatest Resident Evil game of all time. And me, it's my top 100 video games of all time to me. And I will put Resident Evil 4 like in the top 10, 5 category in terms of my favorite video games. But still, with that, again, seeing those regenerators reminds me of Resident Evil 4. The way you shoot them in the head and keep regenerating, I love those types of things. I don't know, they're so challenging. But you gotta give Sorao credit. Sorao did some amazing good jobs in Toriko as well. And then when they got to that area where that little shrine is, the gate. Now this is where the end get a little creepier. They got to the gate, and then the Marines kind of remember what happened. They kind of like, I remember now. It was a nightmare. I don't like the English is really good, but still, it was a nightmare. So those two girls looked there, and then when they looked behind the trees, oh my God, this was so fucking creepy. I thought it was Setsuna, and I think it is. Maybe. I'm just saying. But still, it's that creature with the long black hair, the white dress, her teeth red as fuck, fangs like Melina Baraka from Mortal Kombat, and their teeth, oh my God, it's their fucking teeth. I didn't know what to say. And that's how it ended, with that creepy teeth. I'm like, is that Melina's teeth? Baraka teeth? Oh, we're looking at that? Well, we're actually gonna add that teeth into the mix? That creeps me out. I'm gonna have nightmares just thinking about that. Good body though, it's just the teeth, like, But yeah, that's how it ended. But still, so here's what I'm saying. Overall, I find this episode really fascinating, with a little bit of like, it was really fascinating. I mean, we got to see like Sorao's moment. Sorao's moments in this episode. I think to me, Sorao moments in this episode was my favorites. I mean, especially using the gun and using her eye ability to see all the glitches. I like that. Toriko, we got a little information about her mom, her mom used to be a Canadian Armed Forces. So it was a lot of interesting facts. And the Uranus, like the bond that these two have right now, the Uranus is really there. Like it wasn't like big Yuri, but you can sense the Uranus at that moment where Sorao's blushing at Toriko for showing her how to use the gun properly. So she got a little gun training there. Also, I love the American accent, the English dialogue in that one. I loved it. And yeah, like every episode of Other Side Picnic, we're bound to have some creepy calls or wiggly wagglers. And looking at these creepy creatures, I find them creepier than ever. Well, no, not really. I mean, I like the creepy ones with the big heads. But other than that, good. But I don't know but again, next week is the last episode. I don't know where the plot is gonna be. I don't know where Setsuna is, this or that. Like, what is Setsuna? Like, where is she? Are they gonna show us last episode? Or is this gonna be one of those like, oh, Setsuna doesn't exist, she was just a made-up character from the other side? Or is she really Setsuna, the girl in the end? We don't know. I hope the last episode will give us that. But like I said, this was a great episode. So next week is the last episode, and then later on, once I finish watching Umesune, I will do a review on that. But really interesting show, really interesting episode. So I look forward for next week's episode of Other Side Picnic. Episode 12, this is going to be the end of everything, the climax of the final boss battle. So we'll see how that turns out. See you next week.